Here's why I think the iPad mini will soon be out of the iPad lineup for good. So in my opinion, when the iPad mini first came out, it was automatically set up for failure because the iPad mini had the A5 chip and it didn't have a Retina display when it first came out. And that was competing against the full-size iPad 9.7 inch, which did have a Retina display, and it had the A6X chip. You can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong on that. But anyway, the iPad mini was already slower and didn't have as beautiful of a display as the full-size iPad. And people at the time didn't really care about that because they just wanted an iPad they could take anywhere with them. They could take on a plane or take to a coffee shop. And you know, the current iPad was pretty thick and pretty heavy. You may remember the iPad 3 had those very thick bezels all the way around. They were the same size, and it was pretty thick and pretty heavy and really wasn't convenient to take anywhere. So that's why the iPad mini came out. People in the market wanted a small iPad they could take anywhere just to watch videos and send some emails, etc. However, as the market demanded something that was more powerful, Apple did come out with the iPad Pro eventually. And at the time of the iPad Pro coming out, Apple had the iPad Pro 12.9 inch, which completely swallowed up the iPad mini. You could fit the iPad mini inside the screen of the iPad Pro 12.9 inch and still have room to spare. So as the market wanted a more professional device, Apple responded with a huge iPad, and now they have this very small 7.9 inch iPad mini, which really wasn't selling as good as their 9.7 inch iPads. I think at the time it was the iPad Air 2, and then of course the 12.9 inch iPad Pro, which the market did want because people wanted something very similar to the Microsoft tablets where you could take it around and it would be a professional device, very similar to a computer but a bit more portable. So that leads us to the current moment. The iPad mini 4 is the current iPad that Apple is still selling. I think the only one they sell now is the 128 gig model. I think here in Canada it's around $550, which in my opinion is ridiculous considering they still sell a 9.7 inch iPad, which is called just iPad, and they're selling that in the US for $349. So the iPad mini 4, the only thing I think the mini 4 has over just the iPad is that it's a little bit thinner and the screen is laminated. Other than that, the just iPad has a lot more to offer versus the iPad mini. It's a faster processor, has a better camera, a better screen. Everything about that iPad is just better, and it doesn't make sense for Apple to keep the iPad mini around, especially for more money than the bigger iPad 9.7 inch. So that's why I think when Apple goes to refresh the current iPad 9.7 inch and the iPad Pros, I think they're going to take the iPad mini out of the lineup. It was good while it lasted. It gave the market what it wanted when they asked for it. But now I think the iPad mini is dead, and you can tell me in the comments if you agree. But in my opinion, the iPad mini is not going to be around for much longer. I'd say within 4 months, the iPad mini will be gone. So tell me in the comments if you agree. Like this video. My name is Mike, and I'll see you in the next one.